let's start off with defining what on earth passive-aggressive is. Yeah. So let's go to the extremes. Aggressiveness is when you are dictating your opinion to somebody else. Okay, so you're directly trying to control their choices yourself. Passiveness is when you are supplicating to somebody else. You are handing over your personal power to somebody else and allowing them to control you. Yeah? Passive aggressiveness is the bit in between those two. What you are doing is preventing the other person from exercising their own choice. Yeah? You're not telling them what to do, you're not letting them tell you what to do, but you're stopping them from making their own choice. And people hate that. It's like a soft form of manipulation. It's like being suggestively controlled and only waking up to that fact a little bit afterwards. It's niggling at the back of your mind. Okay, if you find yourself with this tendency, what do you do? Right? Let's start with why, okay? And another way that you might identify this with is, do you find it difficult to say no? Okay, very similar thing. Basically what's going on is, it seems a little dangerous to express yourself directly, and so therefore you're expressing yourself in an indirect manner. This is a classic English technique, okay? The British are brilliant at this. It's just a cultural phenomenon. It's something that we learn, we're injected with at birth. So, why is that? It's because you don't want to make offense, right? You know what you want, but society and the stories running inside of your head say it's rude to be aggressive, or it's not the feminine way if you're a woman, or if you're a man, it's a sort of if you're being aggressive, you are releasing your monster, and how terrible that may be. And so therefore you tone yourself down. You kind of tap a cork on the top. You don't want to hand over that choice to somebody else, but you don't know how to ask for your needs. And so therefore you kind of hope that the other person's going to guess, right? Why would you do that? Because you don't want to cause offense. You don't want to be rejected. You don't want to be laughed at, abandoned, spurned, yeah? Sent into exile. So here's the thing, okay? You, me, everybody, by virtue of being born, have as much right to be on this earth as anybody else. Yeah? It's questionable as to what even is the definition of right and wrong, but let's just go with the things that you think you want and the things that you think you need are as valid as anybody else's things that they think they want and need. Yeah? The fact that you want and need them doesn't mean that the world's going to fall over and agree. It doesn't mean that you're omnipotent. Just like anybody else asking for what they want and need doesn't mean to say that you're going to give it to them. Okay? So other people can do what they want to do. But if you don't express your needs correctly, the likelihood of them getting met is very, very small. Whereas if you express them, well, 50-50, right? It's quite possible that you might get them met because, well, it might be a good idea. The other person or people might agree with you. At least you've made the request. You've put the flag in the air. So it's on the agenda, right? It's on the table. It's a possibility. If you shut up about it, well, the likelihood of getting your own way is pretty slim. So how do you deal with the fact that they might say no? Well, they've got the right to say no. Yeah? The thing is, when they say no, it's not on you. Yeah? It's not a personal reflection on your failings. It just means they've got a different opinion. If you can go with that, then it should be easier to express your needs. So there's no need to be passive aggressive. Yeah? That's slightly different from being able to say no. Okay? When you're saying no, you are expressing your boundaries, you're expressing your limitations, and you may genuinely not wish to offend somebody, or you may not be sure that you want to say no, because no has consequences, right? So you may be kind of dancing around the edge. But again, people want clarity. They trust you more when you give them clarity. So be clear, yeah? If clear means, I'm sorry, right now I'm going to have to say no, but that doesn't mean permanently no. It just means right now it doesn't feel right for me. Well, that's clear. Someone can deal with that. Yeah. If you just avoid the no and don't give any answer at all, they kind of pick up on it, but they don't really get it. It's like if someone invites you to dinner and you thank them and you say you'll try your best to go to dinner. Yeah. Everybody knows you're not going to turn up, right? When have you ever invited someone to dinner and they've gone, oh yeah, I'll try to come along, and they've ever come along, right? Never, ever, ever, ever. Yeah? It's a softener. This is why the British are so good at it, because the English language is filled with softeners. But the end result is you don't know where you stand. So the story attached to the rejection is what causes the inability to say no, or the preference for passive aggressiveness. Yeah? Now, I've just done another video on rejection. So it might actually, maybe I could find a way to put a link in here to show you the other one. It might be useful to look at that one too. But I hope that's interesting. Yeah? It's just another way of kind of looking at the habitual responses which are in your mind, some of which are useful and some of which are frankly unuseful, but they were useful at some point. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and if that's good, let me know down below, and go have a look at the other videos. Try that one on rejection.